Hi, we're here today to talk about how to redesign your website like a pro. We're going to be discussing about 8 essential tips and tricks and kind of steps in order to be the most successful with your redesign process. I'm Ryan Flanagan. I'm the CEO of Nuance Media. Nuance Media has done this hundreds and hundreds of times, and let's get right into it. The first thing that you want to think about when you're going through the redesign process is evaluating your current site. This is really important for a number of reasons. There's a whole bunch of historic data there that if you don't look at before you redesign your new website, then you might not be as effective as possible. So the first thing is the evaluation. Look at your existing users, the demographics, males, females, age, all of those type of things. The second thing is to look at what pages they're going to on your website. Not all pages are created equal, and your users will gravitate towards distinct different pages. The third thing here and the fourth thing are really important. How many leads are you getting through your website? How many phone calls? How many contact forms? If you're looking through your analytical software, this is Google Analytics as a prime example, but there are a variety of other softwares out there. You can look at goal completion area and see what that conversion rate, if everything is set up correctly. When you also look at this, you want to look at the traffic on your website. Where are the major traffic sources? Are there different articles that are referring to you? Is it coming from LinkedIn? Is it coming from Facebook? Where is your traffic coming? Because you want to plan for that for the future when you launch your new website. The second thing here that you want to look at is your goals. Now, where we see a lot of redesign projects fail is not getting the key stakeholders involved early enough, particularly in what are the goals of our new website. If you're an internal department doing this, this is the kind of one of the #1 red flags to look at. Because if you don't get them coming in saying, well, I want to build credibility for the brand, I want to get more leads, and really establishing those key performance indicators early on, it's going to be hard to defend the project later if for some reason they don't like it. So getting them to buy in, establishing the goals very early on in this process might seem not as important as it is, but I highly recommend focusing on that. The next level here, step 3, is strategy. Go out, do a competitive analysis. What are your competitors doing digitally? Are you going to be the first mover advantage here? Are your other competitors doing a really good job? Do they have calculators? What are they doing out there? The second thing is keyword research. What is the opportunity for your digital presence? One of the things that's the most compelling thing about digital is there's a long-term strategic advantage to building up your position with content, organic SEO, search engine position, these type of things. So when you look at this, doing the keyword research, assessing the opportunity is really important because you might not even know it, but you might be sitting on a gold pile in your industry if you do this well. Next thing is design. What are the current design trends going on? What are the research? Everything's going to mobile. We know this, but are you doing a responsive website? You should be. But these are things that you really want to consider while going through this process. And then the final thing here is top pages. Not all pages on your website are equal. You'll typically see the top 5 pages represent about 60 to 80% of your complete website traffic. So you want to see what are the top 15 pages on your website. First 5 are the high impact pages, second 5 are the middle impact pages, and the next 5 are the low impact pages because they'll typically represent about 95 to 98% of your traffic. So what are those pages? Because we really need to pay attention to those pages in particular when doing the website redesign. Okay, needs assessment. Are you creating content? Is somebody else creating content? How is that going on? Do we need to go do a photo shoot for this? When you're looking at that, where's the content coming from? Where's the visuals coming from? Those are things that really need to be considered. Are we doing a revamp of the logo of the brand? This is a traditional area where when people are redesigning their digital presence, that they think about logo redesign. The next thing is integrations. Do we need to pass leads to our CRM, to Salesforce, Zoho, HubSpot, any of these other things? Do we need to pass leads there because we should integrate that from the website? Are there any technical things that you really need to consider before launching and redesigning your new website? Okay, so now that you've done these 4 steps, what you should really do at this point is come up with what we call as a website action plan. So this plan kind of prioritizes the top things that you need to focus on. What are those first 15 pages that are kind of mission critical? What is the content? What is the photo? What are all these type of things? What are the strategies? What's the opportunity from the keywords from your digital presence? And once you come up with that, that's kind of the minimum viable product. Where the second red flag that we see a lot with website design projects is everybody tries to prioritize everything equally. I don't know if you've been involved in this type of project, but we have, and it's really difficult because if everything's done equally, then nothing gets done. So let's focus on what are the top priorities and get that into the water as quickly as possible in a successful way so we can get feedback and then focus on the less important elements or lower priority elements second. Otherwise, you can be stuck in a website redesign project for 2 to 3 years. And yes, we've seen that happen, and no one's happy at the end of that process. So how do you get out there focused on your top objectives to get the minimum viable product that's really looking good, really stellar, and hits your end goals and objectives first, and then iterate through the process. All right, so you've done that. You have the minimum viable. We're focused on those first 15 pages, those core elements that we have for the website, and then we go into implementation. Now, at Nuance Media, we're lean and agile, and a lot of other companies are, and this is really important. Because when you think about this, you want to iterate through this process so everybody understands what the final product's going to look at and is on the same board. So you do wireframes, you do design, and you do the development. Now, while you do this, you shouldn't do wireframes for the whole website, design for the whole website, and then development for the whole website. Because at the end of the day, when the whole website's launched, you're going to be, well, if I knew it was going to look like that on my mobile phone, or here digitally, or there digitally, or whatnot, you're going to have some issues. So best practice here is to do like 3 or 4 wireframes off the bat, do 1 mock-up off the bat, and do the development on that mock-up, get that home page up so you can interact with it, so you can play with it, you can look at it on mobile devices on a test site while you're going through the wireframe mock-up stage on the other sites. The best thing about this is this actually can significantly reduce time to market, because if you start gaining a feel with your design and development team, you might not need to mock every page up or every wireframe up of the website as you go through this development, which cuts time to market and really does some great things when you're looking at how effectively do we work as a team to hit our end goals and objectives that have been bought into by the stakeholders of the project. So iterate through that process. All right, so we've done this with the test site, we've iterated, we're ready to launch, we go live, yay! See you in 2 years. No, not what you want to do. You launch, you want to do quality assurance. Are forms going to the right places? Are people being contacted? Yes, we've seen this before, that a form's not set up right, and then 3 months later you're like, wow, we haven't gotten a lead from the website for a while. What's going on? You need to make sure that happens, and the team you're working with is on point with that. Analytics. Are analytics set up right? Are we tracking goal conversion? Do we know what our conversion rate looks like? Has it improved since the launch of the website? Are we getting more leads now that we have a new website? Are we getting higher quality leads? What does that look like? The third part here that's really important is to take in organic positioning and search engine optimization. When you launch a new website, your old website could have had links from 5 or 6 different articles going to pages that no longer exist on your new website. If you don't redirect those links to the appropriate pages on the new website, you lose all of that SEO, all of that organic positioning for those keywords, which could be driving a ton of your traffic. So when you look at this, doing the SEO configuration and making sure that is set up right is very important, because without the traffic, then you're not going to get as many leads, and then therefore your company is not going to be as successful. So think about that when you're really thinking about your website redesign, and we'll actually cover some best practice with that in a future edition. Okay, so continuous improvement. So what we do is we launch, you get up here, and then you don't walk away. Because all we've done at this point is we've sat around in a room and said, hey, what do we believe the users want? What do we believe the audience wants? But now that we have something live, then we need to focus on how to build a better machine, how to get more leads, how to hit your end objectives, so on and so forth. So while we look at this, we go to the plan side of this. What performance metrics do we want to prioritize? What is a metric that we want to increase on the website? Is that lead gen? Is that people going to our portfolio? Is that people applying for job positions? What are the things that we're really focused on, and how do we improve that? So we come up with a hypothesis on how to improve that metric, and then we go through implementation. So on the contact page, let's say on our contact page on the website, we have a 2.35% conversion rate on that page. That's basically industry standard for conversion rates on websites. If you take some time and say, well, let's put up some friendly faces of our employees on here, tweak the messaging, make a stronger call to action, and kind of come up with some hypotheses and split test that, you can take that 2.35 conversion rate and take that up to 5, 10, maybe even a 20%. 20% is really unheard of. 11% is a unicorn, but we've seen this actually happen previously by good split testing. So by taking that, what do you do? How can you improve the lead generation through your website? You learn from this data analysis. Our customers like friendly people. They like value-added active phrasing, so on and so forth, that can be put and really learn from. And then as you learn these things from your website and the real data that's being produced and your conversion rate and how people are actually interacting with your content, then you can transfer that knowledge to sales, to design, to development, to the rest of your team in order to improve your company overall based on real data. And that is how you redesign your website like a pro. Again, I'm Ryan Flanagan. I want to thank you for taking the time to be with us today. If you would like to follow me, I'm on LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook. And if you have any questions about this, how to redesign your website like a pro, please just comment below and we'll be sure to get back to you. Have a great day. Thank you. And I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you'd like to get content like this in the future, please subscribe and we'll be sure to keep you up to date. If you're interested in engaging with me or Nuance Media, we can be found on Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn under @NuancedMedia or @RyanFlanagan. Finally, if you've ever wondered what the cost of a website might be, we've actually taken the time at Nuanced Media to put together a website cost calculator. This asks a series of questions, and at the end, you get a range from low to high end of what your website might cost. If you're interested in finding out more about that, the link is in the description below. Okay, hope you have a great day, and we'll see you in the next video. Cheers.